Behind the plate, Jerry Lane at first, Paul Runge at second base, and over at third is Charlie Relaford. And Eric Young will lead it off. Young came into the game late last night and played in left field. He started the season as a second baseman for the Rockies. In fact, in the first game they played at home, he had a home run as a leadoff man. And that's the only home run he's hit this year.
Well, you know, they really had him tabbed as their everyday second baseman. But what happened, and the same thing in the Dodger farm system, he started making a lot of errors. They got a little concerned about it. But it took him out.
Liner to center. Dykstra runs it down. And he had a little trouble with that off the bat. Made the play. One out. Hit it hard.
It's the toughest ball for any outfielder to get a jump on and to pick up the line drive right at you. As you can see, it was a low fastball. Young right on top of Dykstra, moved a step or two in, then got a hold of himself and came back. You can see the little short, choppy step there. He couldn't determine whether the ball was going to be in front of him or over his head. That's a very tough play for an outfielder.
And the second baseman, Roberto Mejia, will bat. As Young was scuffling, Mejia was playing well in the minors, so they decided to bring him up, put him at second base, and they haven't regretted that because he's really helped their defense. Not hitting much at just 227, but still a very young player from the Dominican Republic. To Kruk. Well, top spin on it, and Kruk grabs it, steps on first, and 2 up and 2 down for Danny Jackson here in the first inning. Jackson on the year 9-9 with a 3.65 earned run average, making his 25th start of the year. And he has no record in the one game against the Rockies. Last week he pitched a very solid 7 innings, 7 hits, and earned run. 4 walks, 3 of them when he walked the bases loaded in the first inning, and 5 strikeouts. And as we mentioned, he left it up to the bullpen, which gave up 5 runs in the 8th inning, and the Phillies lost that ball game 6-5. Galarraga, he had 4 balls on the nose last night. Hits the first pitch to Kruk, and he can't run at all, so John will just trot on over to the bag. And Danny Jackson has an easy first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We're heading to the bottom of the first.
Any professional painter will tell you that if you want results like these, you got to know the tricks of the trade. You got to ask Sherwin-Williams. Now, these are guys you can trust. They've got good paint, good price, good advice, guaranteed. Want to know something? I didn't paint this house. The guy that lives there did. Hey, fella, nice job. This guy knows what the pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
You've seen these. Glasses that lighten and darken automatically. So had Infinity. That's why the rear view mirror in the new Q45 uses electrochromic technology to lighten and darken automatically for glare during night driving. So you don't have to think about it. Visit your Infinity showroom, and when you're ready to buy a luxury car, you won't have to think about that either.
Lease one of the world's most advanced automobiles, now at a very special rate for a limited time.
Here's your Sherwin-Williams starting lineup tonight for the Phillies, managed by Jim Fregosi. Finds Lenny Dykstra in center field, Mariano Duncan at second, John Kruk at first, Dave Hollins the third baseman, Darren Dalton catching, Pete Incaviglia in left field, Jim Eisenreich in right, Kevin Stocker the shortstop, and he threw 5 pitches in the top of the first inning, Danny Jackson.
And for Donnie Baylor's Colorado Rockies, Hayes, Castilla, Mejia, and Galarraga on the infield. Young, Cole, and Bichette in the outfield. Danny Schaefer will be behind the plate, and Willie Blair, the right-hander, on the mound.
Willie Blair is 6'1", 185-pounder, 27 years of age, from Lexington, Kentucky. There you see the numbers on him. He was picked number 11 in the first round of the expansion draft from the roster of the Houston Astros. Phillies have seen quite a bit of Willie Blair this year. He's 1-1 against them in 3 starts, making his 4th start tonight. And he's 2-1 lifetime against the Phils. As Lenny Dykstra comes up, it's appropriate to show the National League run leaders, and Dykstra with 113, and Barry Bonds now over the 100 mark with 102. Last we heard, the Giants were losing to the Braves in the 9th inning.
What was it, 6-3?
Yeah, so we'll find out what the final was. And the first pitch to Dykstra is low for ball 1, and here is what happened today It wound up 6-4. The Giants' lead is down to 5.5. They pulled that game out on Sunday in the last inning. The 2 outs off Brian Harvey are to be 4.5. They have really not had a slump this year. And all of a sudden, the Giants with a little bit of a struggle, and at the wrong time against the Braves, and that could get interesting.
Well, you know, every team's going to go through one of those, as the Phillies did. The Phillies went through actually 1.5 of them. So it's the Giants' turn to be in the barrel, and I think once they play through this week, they'll get back on track.
Let's see how they react to it. Phillies on a 3-game losing streak. 1-2 in Houston and 1 here last night. Dykstra ripped the right field. Bichette won't get it. It bounces off the wall, and Lenny Dykstra has a stand-up double, his 36th of the year, second best in the league.
Well, when you didn't get many hits last night, you only got a couple of runs. That's one way to start off the game. Dykstra got a pitch by Blair. Blair, who throws a fastball, a curve, a slider, a change. This fastball ran up and out over the plate, and Dykstra just unleashed on this one. Bichette looked like he tried to make a play on it. Wasn't even close. As you can see, they get the ball back in, and Dykstra with another double.
Dykstra's 4th hit off Willie Blair, which includes a homer. And here's Duncan will try and move him over. Mariano batting at .267. Duncan is a .301 hitter at Veterans Stadium this year, and he bunts through it for a strike. Just underway at Veterans Stadium, game number 2 of this 3-game series. Phillies losing here last night in 13 by a score of 3-2, trying to jump out quickly tonight with a leadoff double by Lenny Dykstra. Duncan fouls it off Schaefer, or actually off the mask of DeMuth, it looked like, and it's 0-2.
Kind of surprised that Mariano tried to bunt on the first pitch. Mariano hits the ball very well the opposite way. If he really wanted to give himself up, he should have just tried to hit a ground ball to the right side. Now he's got himself in the hole, 0-2.
On deck is Kruk. And he took a shot at right field, even with 2 strikes. Dykstra trying to get it, or Duncan trying to get it over there to move Dykstra to third. Lenny Dykstra on with double number 36. Dante Bichette leads the league with 38. When Lenny Dykstra scores 2 runs in a game, the Phillies are 18-1 this year.
Wow.
And Duncan swings and misses at a breaking ball. He was still trying to hit it the other way and didn't get it done. So Willie Blair gets a strikeout, 1 down.
Blair tries to establish his fastball and his slider early in the game. As you can see there, that ball broke outside. It wasn't even a strike. It's a slider. And that's primarily how Blair pitches according to the record books or the scouting charts. He'll use that fastball and slider early, and then as the game goes on, he'll go to his other pitches.
Had the no decision last week in the game that the Rockies won, the one where Jackson got a no decision. He only pitched 4 innings in that game. 9 hits, 4 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. And Kruk, the batter, John, with 94 walks on the year, 3rd in the league. He's 4th in the league. Pitches outside, a breaking ball, ball 1.
Actually, after starting out kind of slow, he got a hit in his first at bat last night. That went a couple 3 at bats without a hit in the 9th and the 10th, or 9th and 11th. Came up with some pretty key hits, but unfortunately the Phillies couldn't push him across in the latter part of the game.
And another breaking pitch from Blair misses, 2-0. Phillies did not do a very good job last night with runners in scoring position. Charlie Hayes made a couple of good plays. And Dykstra loosens up down there at second base. Kruk is 5 for 9, 556 lifetime off Willie Blair. Fastball inside, 3-0. The on-deck batter is Hollins.
I guess you really have to give credit to the Rockies bullpen. They did an excellent job last night. Ruffin came in, Munoz, Wayne. They pretty much shut the Phillies hitters right down.
3-0 green light, hits it to Mejia, who boots it. Still might get him. Nope. Kruk didn't get out of the box at all, and Mejia almost got him anyway. An error on the second baseman Mejia as that ball bounced way away from him.
Mejia tried to keep the ball in front of him. He stayed right there, but as the ball came up, he turned a little bit towards the first base side. The ball caromed off his chest, and you can see it went towards the line. Normally, that ball just stays right in front of you.
Error number 6 on Mejia. And you talked in the pregame, Jay, tonight about how good their defense is, and especially how good it was last night. They've really improved.
Right off the bat, Mejia, who has really played very well for him in the last month or so, puts him in a little bit of trouble.
And Dave Hollins with a chance to knock in a run. Rockies have the infield of double play depth, runners at the corners, and 1 out here in the first inning. Strike called to Hollins. Hollins 4 for 7 off Willie Blair. That's a 571 mark. So a couple of these hitters have really worn out Willie Blair, making his 4th start of the season against the Phillies. Inside. Willie Blair originally signed by Toronto, their number 11 pick in 1986, and then traded to Cleveland for Al Sanchez in 1990, and then in 1991 traded to Houston with Eddie Taubensee for Kenny Lofton and Dave Rohde, and now over here in the expansion draft. Hollins fouls it back, 1-2 on Dave. Darren Dalton, the on-deck batter.
Most of the time when you see Hollins, you think of him as a fly ball hitter, but Hollins on the year has grounded into 12 double plays. The only Philly that has grounded into more double plays than Dave Hollins is Mariano Duncan with 13.
High. Just got a big load of salt water taffy delivered to us. Let Tony look in there and see if there's a note.
We're getting all these sweets in our booth. Did somebody put out the word that we've got a sweet tooth or something?
I don't know. Here's a move over to first.
Giving cookies and cakes and brownies.
How about happy birthday tonight to Thomas McCarthy, Brian Cunningham, and Betty Murphy. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Dave Hollins. There you see the situation. Phillies with a chance to break on top. Strike. Recall. Hollins just stood there and watched one like he got pulled on that. So he's called out on strikes, and now here's Dalton.
Hollins obviously looking for another pitch, but I can see what happened there. Looks like Blair pulled the string a little bit on the breaking ball. Hollins thought it was going to be up in the strike zone. He gave up on it, and he knows that as he gave up on it, the ball then breaks down into a strike.
And Darren Dalton, the batter, as you see, locked on those 87 runs batted in. Dutch would really like to get past that. It's been a couple weeks since he's been able to pick up an RBI, and he has a shot here with 2 outs. Phillies went through the game last night, leaving men on base. Fly ball down the line. This will drift foul and out of play. Dalton with his 87th run batted in on August the 10th against Montreal here.
A happy birthday to a Denise Priest, Helen Agnew of Norwood, Carol Ann McGinley of Philadelphia, 40-odd something, and Angela DeBlaze from Waterford, New Jersey. Happy birthday to all those longtime Philly fans.
See Dalton's numbers with runners in scoring position. And he has one in the person of Lenny Dykstra at third base. Outside, 1-1. There, and it almost did him.
Dalton does like to guess a little bit, and he does like to look for the ball out over the plate. Dalton's power is when he can extend This bat will utilize those arms and that upper body strength, get that bat head out. He likes the ball up and out over the plate, and also he'll take you out if it's down and over the plate.
Move over to first. Kruk back in plenty of time. The error in the inning would make any runs in this inning now unearned. Kruk not going to go anywhere with Dalton batting, that's for sure. Two balls and a strike now on Darren Dalton. Up the middle, Mejia, terrific play, and he got him at second. And Dalton loses an RBI because they'd have never gotten him at first on that play. So Mejia makes a poor play, and then he saves a run in the inning. No runs, one hit, one error, two left.
Did you know Texaco puts System 3 in every grade of gasoline?
System 3 gets high marks in every grade, which is a lot better than I ever did.
My dad says Texaco puts System 3 in every grade. I'm in the 4th grade.
Of course. That's why I always fill up with System 3. What do I look like? Don't say it.
Visit your Texaco station.
I can get the tires rotated, the car lubed, and still get home in time for the game.
Mow the lawn.
For unbeatable System 3 gasolines and so much more.
Mow the lawn.
Mow the lawn.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
The Phillies look to flatten Florida when they play the Marlins Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, September 20th through the 22nd, all at 7:35. Then they're out to bop the Braves. Friday the 24th at 7:35, Saturday the 25th at 7:05, and Sunday the 26th at 1:35 when all fans receive a free Phillies poster and more on Fan Appreciation Day. Call 463-1000.
Well, here's a play that ended the inning. Mejia made an error early, Jay, but then he saves a run.
Yes, he did. The kid's only 21 years old. He's got good speed, good reflexes, and here he makes a fine play up the middle. They would have never gotten Dalton, but Kruk sliding into second is out by about 2 steps. And we have a nice little Cento ad for you here, because Cento has an excellent reputation for fine quality Italian food products such as roasted peppers, vinegar, 100% pure olive oil, corn oil, ripe olives, and marinated mushrooms. And you know, Cento gives $200 to the Philadelphia Child Guidance Clinic every time the Phillies hit a home run.
Dante Bichette, the batter, he ended the game last night with a home run in the 13th inning. Bichette had been 0 for 12 before he hit that homer. Does lead the league in doubles with 38. And the pitch misses, 2-0. There are your updated doubles leaders as Dykstra led off the game with his 36th. I'd like to thank Janice Conowall for sending up those saltwater tap. We understand it's her birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday tomorrow, Janice. And Danny Jackson, who got by with 5 pitches in the first inning, has now gone 3-0 here to the first batter in the second. And Data DeMuth calls out a strike. In the inning, it'll be Bichette, Hayes, and Jones. An entire right-handed hitting lineup tonight for the Rockies, and that's not tough for them to do because they only have 2 left-handed hitters, Cole, Alex Cole, and Darrell Boston, both of them on the bench tonight. Jammed him, fly ball shallow right field. Duncan got a good jump. He calls for it and stays with it, 1 away.
Yes, he did. That ball really came back down, had some spin on it. Cut back towards a little bit in right field. We'll show you one more time. You can see Mariano calling everybody off, and he drifts over to it. He thinks he has it in his sights, and all of a sudden the ball has a little bit of movement. Goes just behind him.
Make sure he kept that glove up, too.
Yeah.
Look at the way he lands with it. Like, oh, I'm not going to let this come out.
Jim Eisenreich about 5 feet away from him to make sure he caught that ball.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure he didn't whack it on that turf and knock it loose. Charlie Hayes had a big game here last night. 2 spectacular defensive plays, one saving a run, and then he hit the home run off Tommy Green, which tied the ball game, eventually sent it into extra innings. Charlie with career high totals in homers, 20, and runs batted in, 73. The home run last night, the first he has hit against the Phillies.
You know, Charlie talked about his year last year with the Yankees. It was his best ever as far as he was concerned. He felt he had emerged as a hitter in the big leagues, and he was just starting to feel his oats a little bit. He was really sorry to leave the Yankees, but then when he found out how good a hitter's park Colorado was in Denver, he said, hey, I'm glad they let me go. It's the best place I've ever been to hit in my life.
And he's getting a chance to play every day. There's no other third baseman close to taking his spot on the Rockies roster, as you see what Charlie's done the last 4 years and those career high totals he's posted. Ground ball towards short. Stocker on the run. 2 outs.
It's got to be nice for Kruk at first base to know every time the ball's hit the shortstop, he's going to get a pretty accurate throw that he can handle without much difficulty. Early in the year, remember the Phillies used to have the rotation system at shortstop. It was whoever felt good maybe that day, and sometimes the throws seemed a little errant. Now with Stocker out there, he's really solidified that shortstop position.
The batter is Chris Jones, who's playing in center field tonight. Jones has always hit the Phillies well, whether he's with Cincinnati, Houston, or now with the Colorado ball club. He's a lifetime .325 hitter. Make that .348 hitter against the Phillies career-wise, and .344 this year. There are those numbers. Special birthday wishes tonight to Lenny Mears, who's the dad of Foster Mears. Does such a great job down at the front desk for the Phillies, so happy birthday to you, Lenny. You got a heck of a son. Fouled away right side, out of play. Danny Schaefer is on deck. 2 outs, nobody on base. A scoreless game. We're in the 2nd inning. Phillies have gotten into a little offensive lull the last few days. Need something to break out of it. Broken bat on 1 hop to Kruk. Jackson really sawed out Jones. 3 up and 3 down again. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Bottom of the 2nd coming up. No score.
Looking for a great value on a sports sedan? Well, your local Nissan dealers are having one of their biggest sales events of the year.
I was in the right place, and it must have been the right time.
Lease a Sentra XE Limited Edition with an airbag for only $500 down and $169 a month. You'll get air conditioning, cruise control, and an AM/FM stereo cassette at no extra charge. Your local Nissan dealer. It's the right place, it's the right time.
I was in the right place, and it must have been the right time.
The other day, these guys came to me and said, Kirby, how'd you like to be in a cross-training commercial for Nike? You wear the shoes, right? We could come film your workout. So I said to them, let me get this straight. You want to make a 3-hour commercial?
Yeah, you're right, Judd. There's no beach traffic.
Easy. I went out. There's a Coke machine.
Man, I'm so hot.
You certainly are.
Hot as in sweaty.
Hey, so crank on the AC.
Air conditioning is for the weak, like yourself.
I'm sticking to the seat like yourself.
That
Please
dog is
don't.
moving faster than we are.
All you guys ever do is complain.
Your shoes are pretty.
Could someone please fan me?
No.
Coca-Cola, anyone?
Yeah.
Thank you, Alan, for serving a purpose in my life for the first time.
You're very welcome.
It's the last business person special of the year. Wednesday, August 25th at 12:35. The Phillies play the Rockies, and all fans get a handsome poster featuring all the Phillies pitchers' compliments of Mel and PSFS. Call 463-1000 now.
Why not top off this great season with a magical week at Phillies Dream Week, a full week of baseball fun under the Florida sun in Clearwater. There's still time to get on the roster, but you have to make that call real soon for all the details. Week 1's filled up, and week number 2 is rapidly doing the same. The number is 938-1200. That's 938-1200. Area code 215. Space is running short. You can make that call right now and reserve your spot on the Dream Week roster for next year in Clearwater. Pete Incaviglia, the batter, and Inky takes it outside. Ball 1 will be Incaviglia, Eisenreich, Stocker for the Phillies here in the second inning. Slider from Willie Blair misses. Throws a lot of breaking balls, sinker, slider. He beat Terry Mulholland 2-1 here earlier in the year. Swing and a miss by Incaviglia. That was on June the 4th. He pitched 8 1/3 innings that night. Gave up 10 hits, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Phillies beat him 6-0 at Mile High Stadium. And then he had the no decision last week on Thursday. There's Incaviglia against Colorado. Hard ground ball. Charlie Hayes, another good play to his left, bounces it over there wide, and Incaviglia's safe. Hayes decided to use the turf, even though he might have had time to throw him out. We'll see how they score.
I was kind of surprised to see him do that. Hayes has a pretty good arm, and he's got the time. He turns around, and like you said, he just threw the ball. He tried to bounce over, but he threw it like 3/4 arm instead of right over the top, and it pulled Galarraga off. Galarraga did tag Incaviglia as he set to first base umpire Jerry Lane, and really Incaviglia was out, but Lane just didn't see the tag. He was actually behind Galarraga, and that's one of those instances where the umpire cannot see it because he's blocked out by the runner. So Phillies catch a break here.
And it will be an error on Charlie Hayes. Second error of the game for the Rockies. Hayes is 17th of the year. And a strike to Jim Eisenreich. Eisenreich, the right fielder. Batting at a .331 clip in his last 42 ball games. Happy birthday tonight to Carol Murphy of Ambler. And we're allowed to say she is 50. Congratulations, Carol. She and her husband Fran are loyal Prism watchers, from what we're told. I asked today about that. I said, well, are you sure you're supposed to use her at your age? Absolutely, I was told. Also birthday wishes tonight to Joanna Austin. It came from her dad Rick in Lansdale. Up high to Eisenreich, a ball and 2 strikes.
We have a birthday here to Iris Cunningham from Lancaster, PA. And happy 70th birthday to John Kramer, Copley, PA.
Incaviglia short lead. The pitch to Eisenreich misses outside. 2-2 to Jim. On deck is Kevin Stocker. We're in the second inning, no score. Phillies have the only hit in the game. The Rockies have committed 2 errors to give the Phils a few shots. Eisenreich hits a breaking ball foul first base side. Another good crowd here tonight. The Phillies have drawn over 40,000 a game for 15 straight dates starting on July the 10th. Previous best at the Vet was 6 in a row in '78, so they keep adding to that total. I don't know if we're over 40 here tonight, but it's pretty close.
Got a heck of a shot.
Two and 2 to Eisenreich. Beat it off his foot, foul.
Blair keeps trying to tie Eisenreich up inside. He's trying to keep the ball down and in. You can see where this pitch is. Eisenreich, the only thing he can really do with it is to get the bat head out in front and pull it. Otherwise, he's going to hit it off his front foot, and that's exactly what he did. That's either the cut fastball or the slider that's breaking down and in there. If you're the hitter, you got to get that bat head out in front and fight it off.
Eisenreich with the big hole on the right side as Galarraga holds Incaviglia on. And he takes it inside 3-2. And Eisenreich and Incaviglia will peer down at Larry Baller to see if they're going to run here. Eisenreich does not strike out very much. One of the toughest guys in the league to strike out. And Boa probably flashed a sign that Incaviglia can run. And Blair moves over there once again.
Well, when you got a contact hitter up, great time to do it. Nobody out. Just got to throw a strike.
Willie Blair started the season making 20 consecutive relief appearances, and then on May 18th in San Diego was put in the starting rotation, and he's been there ever since. Had a complete game win against the Dodgers in the start before the one against the Phillies last week. And Incaviglia does go, and Eisenreich hits it up the middle, and the shortstop Castilla was right there and doesn't come up with it. That was going to be a double play ball because he was covering, and he doesn't catch it, and the Phillies have runners at the corners with nobody out. So last night they weren't catching the ball. They were catching it. Tonight they're not.
Well, I think that Incaviglia might have had a little something to do with this, because when Castilla came over, I think he might have taken a little peek, because when you got a guy with a body like Jake running at you and you're going to cover that bag, you might have a little, you might flinch a little bit. Watch Castilla come over. The ball did take a funny hop, and he looked right there. You see him looking at the bag? He did not follow the ball into his glove. He looked down to see where the bag was, and he took his eye off the ball. The ball had overspin, went right by him.
The third error of the game for the Colorado Rockies. As Jay said, you could see him take a peek then, and he had a double play. So the Phillies catch a real break because the shortstop was covering with Incaviglia running, and he doesn't catch the ball. Stocker takes it outside, ball one. They have the infield at double play depth through the Rockies. Charlie Hayes is up at third, and Galarraga holding the runner on at first. So Incaviglia at third, and that is Jim Eisenreich at first base. Happy birthday, number 10, coming up tomorrow to Jennifer Schradler. Stocker rips it up the middle of base hit. Incaviglia scores. Eisenreich stops at second, and the Phillies break on top, scoring an unearned run. 1-0.
Sooner or later, if you keep giving up base runners, something's bound to happen, and Stocker finally got a pitch he could handle.
Well, Kevin lost a 10-game hitting streak last night, his second 10-game streak of the year, but he starts a new one right there, Jay.
Yes, he did. Blair got the fastball that caught too much of the plate. You could see that fastball had some movement on it. He tried to run it away from Stocker, but it didn't get that far outside. It had a good portion of the plate. Stocker hit it right back up the middle.
Now, Danny Jackson will be up there to bunt. He has 10 sacrifices on the year. And the Rockies look for it. Good base runners, and Eisenreich and Stocker around the bunt, and takes it outside for ball one. Phillies with a run on 2 hits and no errors. No runs, no hits. And now they're going to give Eisenreich a base hit on the ball hit to short.
Yeah, I think I like that a little bit better.
So Jim Eisenreich gets a base hit, and the Rockies have 2 errors. And this pitch misses outside. And Boa going through the signs. Danny Jackson, not a real good hitter. Struck out 28 times this year and has just 4 hits, so they'll want to leave the bunt on for him. And now there are the totals in the game, as the Rockies have 2 errors and the Phillies have 1 more hit than we thought they had. Jackson takes ball 3, so Willie Blair is 1 pitch away from pitching himself into a lot of trouble.
Okay, partner. You have Jackson bunt if this ball is a strike, or do you have him take a strike?
I'd have him take 1.
I agree.
And he was taken.
Yes, you got to have him take a pitch, because pitcher's throwing 3 straight balls. You might get 4, or you might go 3-1 and then ball 4.
And you still have 2 more shots to bunt him over, because he's going to bunt if even if he gets 2 straight. Look how shallow Young is at left. He knows he's not going to be swinging. Look at those outfielders. They're looking for a potential overthrow on a bunt play, so they're going to back it up because they figure there's no chance he's going to swing. Eisenreich at second base. And Stocker on at first. And he walked it.
And that's why you have your pitcher take a strike. Good job by manager Jim Ferguson. Has his pitcher take a strike because the player had been a little wild this inning, and he gets the pitcher on base on a walk.
Don Baylor just looking on. They really want to work Willie Blair into their rotation as a top-notch type starting pitcher. He's only 27 years of age, but he is having a rough inning. And here comes Dykstra, led off the game with a double, was stranded at third. Phillies have a run in the second inning. The base is loaded and nobody out in the second.
Well, realistically, Blair shouldn't be having much problems at all if the defense would have helped him and caught a few balls, but it's part of the game.
Dykstra with double number 36. Takes the ball high.
Blair didn't like that call at all. He thought he had the outside part of the plate. And now Danny Schaefer, the catcher, turning around oh so very little and saying a few remarks to home plate umpire Dana DeMuth.
Phillies have hit 7 grand slams this year. Dykstra to center field. This will be deep enough to score a run and move some other base runners. Jones runs it down. Stocker tags and goes to third, and the Phillies lead it 2-0 on an RBI by Lenny Dykstra as Eisenreich scores.
Well, nice job by Dykstra. He got the ball out over the plate. He wanted to hit it on the line like most line drive hitters, but the ball, he got it up in the air. But he hit it with enough authority, he was able to get the run in and move a runner over. You see Chris Jones going back. He's calling off the left fielder Young, but he really isn't in much position to throw the ball. He didn't catch that ball very well and set himself up in a position to throw that ball, Chris.
But Stocker saw that tag, got third easily. He's in scoring position now, or another fly ball to get a run home. The infield a double play depth, as you see, for Colorado, and Duncan, the batter, struck out in the first.
Liliano does like that first pitch, doesn't he?
You will see a lot of pitchers throw him a first ball breaking ball for that reason.
Well, they better not hang it.
That's true. But he loves that first ball fastball.
Watch him swing at this one.
This will get another run home. Hazel just had one play at first, throws it low, but they got him. Scoring is Stocker, 3-0 Phillies.
Well, now there's a classic example of getting runs by making outs. Dykstra doing his job with the sacrifice fly, and then Duncan keeping the ball on the ground. The Phillies pick up 2 runs on 2 outs.
And on the play, Danny Jackson moves up to second as Duncan gets congratulations in the dugout. There's a bunch of the guys involved in this inning. You see them there in Cavilla, Eisenreich. They've scored runs. Stocker scored a run. Dykstra and Duncan have knocked them in. Along with Stocker picking up an RBI. Kruk, a ground ball to second. Mejia on a big hop. Throws out John Kruk. The Phillies have a productive second inning. They pick up 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. 3-0 Phils.
What? Oh, guard dog. Oh, very scary. Finally, the good stuff.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
When good just isn't good enough.
Hey, that's super premium. Do you really think you need that high an octane for your car?
I don't know, but I do know this. I feel my car runs better on premium, and I have other things to worry about.
You don't take any chances, do you?
I figure if I put the best in, I'll get the best out.
So when good just isn't good enough for you, experience our best. Fly with the new Superpower. Sit-Go.
There are two ways to put a movie theater in your home. You could build one. Or you could simply buy the giant 35-inch RCA home theater with SRS sound. It's the easiest way to get a movie theater in your home.
RCA home theater products available at all American appliance stores throughout Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware.
It's the last business person special of the year. Wednesday, August 25th at 12:35. The Phillies play the Rockies, and all fans get a handsome poster featuring all the Phillies pitchers' compliments of MLB SFS. Call 463-1000 now.
Well, tomorrow afternoon is business person special number 5. It'll begin at 12:35. The Phillies and these Colorado Rockies. Kurt Schilling will be on the mound for the Phils, and the day is compliments of PSFS. Those games are a lot of fun. It'll be your last chance to see the Phillies in the daytime during the middle of the week. Business person special number 5 tomorrow afternoon. Call 463-1000 to set up your tickets, or go by the Center City ticket office at Mellon PSFS. That's located at Broad and Chestnut Streets. Those guys look like they just came from the office. There's another whole bunch from the office, and we see a bunch of people out here tomorrow dressed like that normally.
That's right, and I'm still waiting for the best excuse to come to a business person special.
You'll probably be getting some of them in the next batch of mail. Regina and Kelly and Karen, Mary Ann, everybody downstairs will be very upset at you for the extra mail.
That's right, Phil. You send me the best excuse you've heard right here to the Phillies, and the one I think's the best, you'll get 4 tickets to a Phillies game.
Danny Schaefer, the batter, has an 8-game hitting streak. 1 hit in 8 games. He won't get one there as Eisenreich runs it down. And Danny Jackson has now retired the first 7 batters to face him. There is Don Baylor in the background, the manager of the Rockies. And stay tuned after this half inning as Larry Rosen will look back on the remarkable MVP season of Don Baylor. That was in 1979. Vinny Castilla, the batter out of the Atlanta Braves organization. Swing and a miss and a good fastball by Jackson. On deck is Willie Blair. If you're just tuning in, Phillies with 3 in the second, lead at 3-0. We're in the 3rd inning. Broken bat, ground ball to second. Boy, did that sound bad. Throws him out, 2 down. Danny Jackson's broken at least 3 bats in this game.
I'll say one thing, Jackson's ball is really moving tonight. We'll find out from Phil Feather the velocity on the ball on the radar gun a little later on, but nobody's really stung the ball tonight.
It's pitching in and out well, too. Blair swings and misses. We like to say hi to faithful Phillies watcher, 87 years young Mabel Hackleton. Never misses a ball game. I hope she's enjoying it tonight. It comes from Ann Maybury in Telford, Pennsylvania. 87.
Wow.
Mabel, I hope you're enjoying this year. It's a goodie.
I'd like to be able to enjoy anything at 87.
Sounds like she's really alert and enjoying these Phillies ball games. Beaten foul, third base side.
We have a happy anniversary to Pat and Irene Heron, H-E-R-O-N, from Philadelphia, 17 years.
And another one to Pat and Anne-Marie Staffieri of Flowertown, 25.
Yes, 25 years. Pat and Anne-Marie. Congratulations to you people.
Willie Blair with 4 hits on the year, 4 runs batted in as he fouls one into the press box through the hands of WOGL's John Weber and into the second row. Weber had a clear shot of that one all the way down on the right-hand side, and he just booted it.
How do we score that? E-P-B?
Score that E Weber, E-W, yeah. Just missed inside. And it counts 3-2 now on Willie Blair with 2 outs and nobody on base. Oh, he walks him. Danny Jackson retires the first 8 batters in the ball game and then walks the pitcher. Which he certainly did not want to do. And here is the leadoff man, Eric Young. Hit a line shot to Lenny Dykstra in center field his first time up.
Imagine Jim Fregosi is echoing those very same thoughts at this moment.
Luckily, there's no crowd mic near him. Breaking ball misses inside. 1-0 to Young. Totals in the game: 3-3-0 for the Phils. No runs, no hits, and 2 costly errors for Colorado. Well, Jackson's lost the strike zone. Out goes Darren Dalton for a chat. Coming up tomorrow afternoon, business person special number 5, and we've had all of them for you on Prism. So we'll have one more tomorrow as Charlie Hayes and the Rockies are here. Larry Rosen with the pregame at 12, and then Jay and Gary and I will be at you at 12:30.
12:30, huh?
Early call tomorrow, JJ.
Seems like we were just here yesterday.
We were. That was a long one last night. Strike called the Young. 2 balls and 1 strike on the former Los Angeles Dodger. Here is Jim Fregosi looking on from the Phils dugout with John Vukovic. Jimmy's sitting and relaxing at this point in the game. There's a shot to right center, but Eisenreich is right there. He is a glider in that outfield and runs it down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 3-0 Phillies after 2.5. Time now for that look at the Vintage Vision as Larry Rosen looks back at the MVP season of Don Baylor in 1979.
Don Baylor is universally recognized as a winner. A one-time football recruit at Texas, Baylor opted for baseball, driving in over 1,200 runs and putting 5 different franchises into the postseason. But he will always be best remembered for 1979, when he simply dominated the game of baseball en route to a near unanimous most valuable player selection.
Well, I played every ball game. I missed, 2 at-bats the whole year. One came after we clinched it next to the last day of the season. I was talking to Lenny Dykstra about playing every single day. It takes a commitment to play every day. It's a grind when you go coast to coast playing all the time. I hit 4th that year. I led the majors in runs scored and RBI. So it was just one of those dream years. Everything fell into place. Got a lot of key hits for the club, but I was surrounded by some guys like Danny Ford drove in 100 runs, Bobby Grich drove in 100 runs, hitting 8th. And so we had some Frank Tanana on that ball club along with Nolan Ryan. So we had some veterans there. We lost in the playoffs, but it gave us an opportunity to go back there again.
And the manager of that team in 1979, none other than a guy who will talk about that tomorrow afternoon, Jim Fregosi.
He had some very nice words, Don Baylor did, to say about Jim Fregosi.
As most baseball people do.
Well, there's this umpire that
They don't count.
Oh, okay. There's Jimmy.
There's Jim and Anthony Fanuto in the dugout. Anybody watching the game last week in Colorado when they saw one of the bat boys get nailed with a foul ball? That was Anthony. He'd already had a broken wrist. He got hit in the chest with a foul ball, and he's okay. Hollins swings and misses. Dave took a strike 3 call his first time up. There's the cast on Anthony's hand. The bruise is on the left side of his chest. As Milt Thompson nailed him.
Very
Jeff
highly
Cooper
thought
ran
of
right
by a
to
lot
his-
of the Philly players. In fact, so highly thought of, they've offered to break his other wrist to make it even. So he could have 2 casts.
He's had a tough year, that kid. He slipped in the dugout, hurt his knee early. Nice young man. Hollins pops it up foul, and it will go out of play.
Everybody's happy down there.
You wanted to report on Danny Jackson? 89 to 90 is fastball with a couple clocked at 91 so far tonight. Is that young fan's very happy?
That's why you see a lot of ground outs. Ball is really moving. He's keeping it down in the strike zone. He lost a little bit of it in the previous inning. But he got Eisenreich to make a nice running catch for him. But we'll see what happens as he goes out in the top of the fourth.
Young man bringing his glove tonight. Very happy with the souvenir. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hollins with Dalton on deck. And he swings and misses and strikes out for the second time. And a leather lung lets him have it right below us.
64 strikeout on the year for Hollins. The pitch is breaking down. As you can see, Hollins right over the top.
And Willie Blair has thrown 50 pitches here in the 3rd inning. Dalton the batter. Darren hit a ball up the middle, fielded backhanded by Mejia, who got a force out at second, robbed him of a hit and an RBI in the 1st inning. Dalton still looking for that elusive number 88. Anniversary wishes tonight to Diane and Ray Cartwright of Camp Hill, their 20th anniversary. Former residents of the Marple Newtown area. And Darren Dalton draws a walk. That's walk number 2 issued by Willie Blair.
We got a few birthdays tonight, don't we? There's one for Florence Duffy, 85 years old. And happy 31st birthday to Ed Florin. Yeah. I'll get it right, folks. Got to read the writing here. F-L-O-I-R-E-N-D-O.
Ed knows who he is.
Florendo. Happy birthday to you, folks.
Pete Incaviglia, the batter. You saw he reached on Hayes' error, gets jammed and bleeds one into right field. Good base running by Dalton. Will scoot to 3rd. Oh, they throw behind Incaviglia and got him. Dante Bichette threw the ball right behind Incaviglia and nailed him at first base. Was that ever embarrassing?
And the funny part about it was, Incaviglia tried to get out of the way of the ball. You got to let it hit you. Bichette, who has a very good arm, and you'll see it right here. Very seldom you see the outfielders throw behind the runner. But watch Incaviglia trying to get out of the way of the ball. And as he does, he puts himself out of the picture, and he's tagged out by Galarraga. Let the ball hit you. It just caught him by surprise, that's all.
Well, he gets a hit on that, right? And then it's
yes,
9-3 on the out. Eisenreich hits it down the line and right.
It's funny because, you know, the ball's coming in and you say, I don't want it to hit me, but in that case, you want the ball to hit you. You want the ball to carry him off, because as soon as it does, Dalton's going to score.
Yeah, I think he knows that he can take a ball off his body.
Yeah, a couple.
Now there's Incaviglia on a weird play, retired after getting a base hit. Eisenreich fouls it off. So the Phillies have Dalton at 3rd with 2 outs. There's Darren. And nobody would like to see Eisenreich get this runner in more than Incaviglia. The Phillies struggled for runs last night. A little bit better so far tonight, but had a 1st and 3rd there with just 1 out. Eisenreich pops it up towards 2nd. Mejia waits, grabs it, and the Phillies are gone here in the 3rd inning. And after 3, they lead it 3-0.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
Oh, really?
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
Imagine a hot Dodge Shadow with all kinds of equipment for under $10,100. And that's a pretty picture. So drop into the 93 model clearance going on now at your nearest Dodge dealer. This Dodge Spirit, America's lowest price 6-passenger car, even comes with air at no extra charge. Because the lid's coming off great deals during the Dodge 93 model clearance. So see your nearest Dodge dealer today.
The Phillies will be loaded for bear when they play Sandberg and the Cubs Monday, September 6th at 7:05. And Tuesday through Thursday, September 7th, 8th, and 9th, all at 7:35. Then they'll try to send the Astros into space Friday, September 10th at 7:35. Saturday the 11th at 7:05. And Sunday the 12th at 1:35 when kids 14 and under get a free backpack. Call 463-1000.
And back here at Veterans Stadium, Gary Maddox joins us. Other than Tim McCarver running by you that day in Pittsburgh and messing up that grand slam, did you ever have anything weird happen to you like that where in Cavilla have?
Well, I tell you, running by me, I've made some mistakes, but I've never seen anything quite like that. The good thing is that the Phillies are in first place, and you can bet in the clubhouse it'll be construed as a lot of fun, a good time, and all those types of things that go when you have a 9-game lead.
Yep, and there's Pete out there in left field wondering how that happened.
The first one to laugh about it will be Jim Fregosi, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, that was a bizarre play as he jumped out of the way. Not Fregosi, but in Cavilla, and wound up getting a base hit and then was retired on the play. And Roberto Mejia will lead it off. A little second baseman fouls it off behind the plate. It's Mejia, Galarraga, Bichette, 2-3-4 in the lineup here in the fourth inning. 3-0 Phils.
You know, it's amazing how you talk about a team having fun when they're winning and stuff. That tone is still set by the manager and what he will allow the players to get away with. And Jim is that type of a manager where, hey, he believes in having some fun out there.
Collins bobbles, throws it away. Mejia thinks about going to second but won't. And that'll just be an error all the way on Hollins. That won't make him smile. Hollins is having a tough night.
Well, this had the potential of being a double error.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, that allowed him to get to first base, and then he slings it across there, which would allow him to go to second.
Error number 1 in the game for the Phillies. The Rockies have committed 2, and here is Galarraga. Andres grounded out to Kruk his first time up. Galarraga coming into the game batting at .389, now at .388.
Chris, when you look at the Phillies and you see, well, they're 9 games out front, you can think, well, how could there be any animosity? How could there be anything going on? Seed.
He's swinging the bat, that man. He hit it hard all last night and now gets a base hit here. 2 on and nobody out.
Richie Ashburn asked Andres Galarraga an interesting question on his pregame show. If he thought the fact that he was injured helped him to hit better. And you might think that that's a funny thing to ask. That ball's hit very hard with an open stance. But really, if you have an injury, you'll take it nice and easy. You won't overdo anything. And a lot of times that's what hitting comes down to, a nice, easy stride and a nice, easy swing on the ball. And that's what he's doing very well.
An error and a base hit, and here is Dante Bichette, who hit a pop-up to second his first time up.
Yeah.
First hit in the ball game for the Rockies. Phillies have 4. Ooh, nice play by Dalton.
That ball caught him.
He's trying to block it and wound up in the glove.
Right, he anticipates the ball being in the dirt, goes over for it. There it is. Here's a center field camera. Watch how far in front the ball bounces. He's over there. And he doesn't catch that ball. That's definitely mine. He didn't have time to get his body in front.
It's a breaking ball, a lot of spin.
Remind me to get back to you about the animosity that can occur on a team that has a 9-game lead.
Bichette hits a ground ball. Kruk will have a play at second, and they get it out. Nice play, John Kruk. Runners at the corners now and 1 away.
I'll tell you what, that was really an excellent play. Heads up by John Kruk to know who's running. I mean, that's a reaction play where you're down on the ground and your first instinct is, hey, get the out at first base. But to have the the wherewithal to know who's running and know you have a play is heads up.
By knowing who's running is Galarraga with the bad wheel, and he's not even going to slide. He's having a lot of trouble moving around out there. Now you keep the double play in order. For Charlie Hayes, 0 for 1 with a ground out. Get back to that animosity, or lack of it.
I feel something happening here. Every time I get ready to say something, something happens here. I'm going to let the smoke clear a little bit. It's ruining my story.
I like your stories.
Well, thank you.
No balls and a strike. Well, whenever you want to pick it up, feel free.
All right, I'll jump right in there.
And Hayes does ground into double play, so we'll see if that play by Kruk turns out to be important. Fly ball foul right field, out of play. 0-2 on Charlie.
Now, that was a slider by Danny Jackson. He knows not to get that ball too far inside. Throw the slider, but start it on the outside and then try and break it over the outside corner. And that's what he tried to do to Charlie Hayes. We saw last night what he can do with an inside pitch from Tommy Green.
And Charlie really likes the ball middle in. 0-2 to Hayes. And he got that one way in, and he beat it foul.
I was talking about how animosity can occur. I mean, you look at the situation where the team's 9 games in front, everything's going good. But you look at the guys who are playing. I mean, it's supposed to be a platoon situation out in left field between Incaviglia and Milt Thompson. Milt Thompson's not getting his share of playing time. Incaviglia's playing against right-handers. So for the manager to smooth that situation over to where it's acceptable by the players, I mean, that's a big thing. How about right field, Wes Chamberlain, thinking he's going to be the everyday right fielder, and now Eisenreich getting a lot of chances to play, and Chamberlain's taking it. Well, that's a result of the manager communicating and pulling his team together, and I think that's what Fregosi has brought to this ball club. And you hear Wes Chamberlain talk, he sounds like a different person altogether.
And there he is on the bench,
along with Milt Thompson.
There goes Bichette, and it's fouled away. They take a chance there, start the runner to try and stay out of the double play. 0-2. Well, the thing about Fregosi, and sometimes you'll hear people say that he's running a country club here, or that the players run this team, that they tell him what to do, which is such a joke if you're around here or spend any time around this baseball team. It's nonsense. I mean, Jim Fregosi's in charge, and everybody around here knows that.
Well, I think it's respect.
Could get 2. Got it, and Kruk's good play at second base means the Phillies don't give up anything in the inning. They turn to double play. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left. Still 3-0.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
The other day, these guys came to me and said, Kirby, how'd you like to be in a cross-training commercial for Nike? You wear the shoes, right? We could come film your workout. So I said to them, let me get this straight. You want to make a 3-hour commercial?
Just last year, John Pasmato scaled the rocky slopes of Kilimanjaro, trekked through the murky waters of the Amazon, and captained a tall ship through the treacherous Strait of Magellan.
Mellon PSFS employees are giving their time to help people embark on some of the greatest adventures of their lives.
All it took was learning to read.
Jacket Day on Sunday, August the 29th at 1:35. The Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds. A great-looking warm-up jacket. All fans 14 and under will pick up one. A blue pullover with the Phillies logo on the front and the back. It's compliments of Acme and Kraft. Good double play right here as Hayes hits into his 19th.
It was a slider. Hayes he kind of felt for the ball and then grounded it to Stocker. Good turn, but Chris, as you pointed out, it was John Kruk's heads-up play that got Andres Galarraga at second base that kept that force in order, that double play in order.
Kevin Stocker, the batter, hits it high in the air to center field. A play there for the center fielder Chris Jones. He grabs it one away. And Danny Jackson will bat. Jackson walked his first time up. Lenny Dykstra on deck. 3, 4, and 1 for the Phillies. And no runs, 1 hit, and 2 errors for the Rockies. We are in the 4th inning. Thanks to Mr. and Mrs. John Strasser from Northampton, Pennsylvania, for sending Tony Irving up some goodies tonight.
What they send it to Tony for?
Because they know he's going to eat all that stuff.
Oh. I felt sorry for him. Knowing he's a bachelor, can't cook one.
I'd like to send best wishes to the Jack Strasser family of Westchester. And thank you for those goodies. No balls and 2 strikes on Jackson. Outside, ball 1. Swing and a miss, struck him out, and Danny Jackson down on strikes. That's strikeout number 4 in the ball game for Willie Blair. Gives us a chance to remind you that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Sports Channel, the Reading Phillies will play the Albany Yankees, and Brian Taylor, the #1 pick in the June 1991 free agent draft, will pitch for the Albany Yankees, and Larry Rosen will be on Sports Channel with the play-by-play. Be sure and watch that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. The Reading Phillies and the Albany Yankees.
I tell you, forget about the game. It's a great experience. I was up there. I took a group of people up to Reading on Saturday while the team was away, and I mean, we had just a great experience in that Reading ballpark.
Greg Stein, Chuck Domino, all the people up there do a great job. Pitch to Lenny is over for a strike. He doubled in the first inning, knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly in the second. His 43rd of the year. He's been at home plate a few times. Remember that one year Dave Cash had 700 at-bats for the Phillies. At-bats, because he didn't walk very much.
You know, I've been trying to figure out what it meant to have like 3 guys that walk over 100 times. It's the first time in history it's been done
in the National League.
And what does that mean? I haven't been able to put my finger on it.
It means a lot of base runners.
But if you do something for the first time in history of the game, I mean, that's huge.
That is significant. 3 up and 3 down go the Phillies in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. 3-0 through 4.
Hazy sunshine this afternoon, high close to yesterday's 96 downtown.
This Lexus LS 400 is about to shift from first to second to third and to fourth. We thought we'd take the opportunity to point this out. It would be so difficult for you to tell on your own.
Come on, let's get a cold one.
Our total attendance for today's game.
Oh, would you look at this beer line? I'm gonna go back.
What? Foul ball? No, I'm not.
Foul ball! Foul ball? Foul ball? Out of the way! I got it!
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
Make it 2 Bud Lights, please.
make it a Bud Light.
Hey, you got another ball?
On Sunday, September the 12th, the Houston Astros are in town. It's Backpack Day. Perfect back-to-school gift for all fans 14 and under. A red backpack with the Phillies logo. And what a way to show your Phillies colors. Compliments of Campbell's Soups. Call 463-1000 or stop by any one of the many local Ticketmaster outlets throughout the Delaware Valley. We go to the 5th inning. Phillies lead it 3-0. And the nightly proposal here at the Vet went this way.
Oh, that's Glenn Fisher. Guys, he's Glenn Fisher getting married, and that's Katie Murphy.
That's right. That's what it set up. That's right.
That's where I got it from. That's where I got it from, off the board.
Oh, I thought you knew them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nice going, Gary. And there are the Panavision guys down there recording it for posterity.
Yeah. May as well tie that guy up with that cord, the camera.
And he did go, says the first base umpire Jerry Lane. The count is 0-2. Had a lot of those proposals here at the Vet this year. Always a lot of fun for the fans.
I can't remember a day we've done a game and there's not been
there. Hasn't been one, right? Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way to Jones. Foul away. Danny Jackson's keeping the ball away and also inside. He stayed away from the middle of the plate tonight and has been very effective.
Maybe those two have something to do with that. If you can keep the ball on the corners and stay away from the middle of the plate, you'll have success.
Lots of times. Jams him that time. He's going in and out real well tonight. It'll be Jones, Schaefer, and Castilla. 6, 7, 8 hitters. As a fan has a souvenir. Another warm night, and it's supposed to get hotter and hotter as the week goes on, as we're going to get one last blast of summer here at the Vet. Seems like every time we're on Prism, it's hot. It has been a hot summer here in Philadelphia and a hot year at the ballpark. With the Phillies in first place by 9. Here's a ground ball to Duncan. Big hop from Mariano. Throws out Chris Jones. Thanks to Pearl Decker and Hyde Blatz for sending some stuff up here as Danny Jackson's at 50 pitches. More stuff for Tony. That stuff for Harry Callis, Andy Musser.
And the way that we count pitches, I learn from the guys every time I ask questions about that. If the guy swings at the pitch, is it considered a strike?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, and Larry Rosen said yes to me. I thought he was telling you too.
Yeah, but the people that heard me ask the question on the air don't know.
Well, I just thought you'd repeat it.
Oh.
2 balls and no strikes. Schaefer is picked by Danny Jackson. Schaefer has an 8-game hitting streak. He made a bid to make it 9, and Jackson got him. 2 down.
Good body control by Jackson. Watch his follow through and how low he is. Stays down there in a fielding position, then goes up. Good body control right there, and that's what you want to do when you finish your pitch. Not be like Steve Carlton, falling all over the place, but in control there.
Danny Jackson's a very good athlete. Was a heck of a high school football player, highly recruited at one time. Castilla, the batter. The shortstop is 0 for 1. He is grounded out to second. 2 outs, nobody on base. In the 5th inning, 3-0 Phillies. Willie Blair putting on the batting gloves and heading for the on-deck circle. The pitcher. Castilla pops it up, first base side, Kruk near the stands, and he reaches in and grabs it. Fine play by the Krucker. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base to the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-0 Phillies.
Don't wait. Save now on every #1 selling Ford at your Quality Plus Ford dealer. It's Ford's factory authorized clearance. Save on a loaded Ford Thunderbird, now just $16,292, almost $4,000 less than last year's Thunderbird. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer during Ford's factory authorized clearance.
See your Ford dealer today. Get behind the wheel and turn the key.
Hurry. Ford's factory authorized clearance ends soon.
Just last year, John Pasmato scaled the rocky slopes of Kilimanjaro, trekked through the murky waters of the Amazon, and captained a tall ship through the treacherous Strait of Magellan.
Mellon PSFS employees are giving their time to help people embark on some of the greatest adventures of their lives.
All it took was learning to read.
When my doctor said to start exercising, I knew I wasn't 25 anymore. That's when I called Bill, my nationwide insurance agent.
Jim had some questions, so we did a nationwide care review. We talked about his financial plan, life insurance, disability coverage, even retirement.
Yeah, we covered everything.
It turns out Jim was okay just the way he was.
Insurance-wise, right?
Oh, right.
The care review from Nationwide, because things change.
Like the friendly confines of home where the fans get out of your way, right? Check that fan's hands. It goes right through them. John Kruk hangs on. How about that for a snow cone?
Really? He takes a look, too. Like, do I have
Great
this
play.
or not?
This guy's hands. This is the guy here with his hands clasped up the top and went right through those hands. No, I thought at home they're supposed to, like, back out and let you reach in there uncontested.
I don't think a fan ever thinks about that as the ball goes in the stands. They're just thinking, I want that baby.
That's okay if it's a visiting team.
Duncan will lead it off. Duncan Kruk Collins 2-3-4 for the Phillies in the 5th inning, facing Willie Blair. And the first pitch to Duncan is inside ball one. Mariano has struck out and grounded out, knocked in a run. Duncan batting at .274, approaching 400 at bats in another year where he wasn't supposed to play that much. And he's playing a lot, as he is the everyday second baseman right now.
Well, he's not supposed to play that much at one position.
Yeah. Now, they really thought this was going to be the year that Bell was going to be the shortstop, Morandini would play second, and Duncan would be the fill-in. And see how many at-bats he's had. The most, you saw that graphic about Dave Hollins. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Duncan. Phillies lead at 3-0. We're in the 5th inning. Shakes off a fastball in, wants a breaking ball, and Duncan hits it to Charlie Hayes, who grabs it on the second hop, throws him out, 1 away. Lots of games for you coming up on Prism tomorrow at 12:30. Pregame show at 12 o'clock. The Rockies here, and then the Cincinnati Reds. What a new look team they are, and not because they want it to be that way, but out of necessity. They will be here on Friday night, and we'll have them on Prism also on Saturday night. They have used, I think, 46 players this year, which is a record for them.
And I think after Saturday, we only have 6 more games left on Prism. 7 more. Gee.
Out of 40, what, 45, 46, something like that. Yeah.
What am I going to do? Can we add some more? Or?
You'll be watching the Sixers and the Flyers on Prism this winter.
You know, when postseason comes, we don't have a job anymore, do we? You don't either, do you?
Radio.
Oh, you get to do radio?
Yeah, that's all you can do.
I thought there was a national.
No, well, there is, but you're allowed to do local radio only.
Oh, yeah, well, you'll get your half inning.
That'll be about it. The Stars will be on then.
You can have the real announcers.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That's right. Have Whitey. 1 and 2. There they are. There's Andy and Whitey and Bill Komisarov. Tech over there. And Willie Blair retires Kruk. 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Willie Blair at 75 pitches. Phillies doing all their scoring in the 3rd inning. Had 2 men on well, they really didn't have 2 men on in the 3rd, because that was a play where Incaviglia was retired, going around first.
Happened to catch your pregame interview with Jim Fregosi. You guys talked about how well that Colorado team fields that ball.
Really? And
how well they catch.
What did they do tonight? They looked like it, didn't they?
How well they catch the ball.
They did last night. Hollins rips it foul. Davis struck out twice tonight.
There's a play.
Good play.
He's just showing off. There you go, a hot shot. It's a new position right there. Picks it clean.
we see you.
Make sure. 2 outs, nobody on base in the 5th inning. 3-0 Phils.
Blair's had Hollins' number tonight.
Been fooling him with a lot of breaking balls. There he throws a fastball inside. 2-1. On deck is Dalton. Little slider missed, and he stayed off at that time.
A little note here for you. Said Phillies.
Tony handed a drop in over here.
Oh,
you can't read his writing anyway. 3 balls and 1 strike. Did Hollins go on that breaking ball?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
It didn't
Strike 2. So he's having trouble with the slider tonight from Willie Blair. Hollins pops it up in the infield. Castilla, the shortstop, makes the play. 3 up and 3 down go the Phillies in the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be than out in the open where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and me. Come on and head for the mountains of Bush. Come on and head for the mountains of Bush. Beer.
The other day, these guys came to me and said, Kirby, how'd you like to be in a cross-training commercial for Nike? You wear the shoes, right? We could come film your workout. So I say to them, let me get this straight. You want to make a 3-hour commercial?
The Phillies look to flatten Florida when they play the Marlins Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, September 20th through the 22nd, all at 7:35. Then they're out to bop the Braves. Friday the 24th at 7:35, Saturday the 25th at 7:05, and Sunday the 26th at 1:35 when all fans receive a free Phillies poster and more on Fan Appreciation Day. Call 463-1000.
All the pageantry and color of a great college football game right here at Veterans Stadium, a traditional rivalry. The legendary Fighting Irish of Notre Dame play the Midshipmen of Navy right here at the Vet. You can order tickets by phone. Call the Phils at 463-1000 or stop by the Phillies ticket office at the Vet. This fun and exciting college football matchup. There's something for you to do, Gary, in the offseason as Don Zimmer.
What was it? I didn't get a chance.
Have some fun.
I didn't get a chance to hear that.
It's sponsored in part by the Philadelphia Inquirer and Herman's World of Sporting Goods. Notre Dame Navy right here at the Vet. Here is the legendary Zim. That is Saturday, October 30th at 12:10 will be kickoff. Willie Blair will lead it off. Blair, Young, and Mejia here in the 6th inning. Don Zimmers always has a lot of fun with the Fanatic, and the fans enjoy that. Willie Blair swings and misses.
That was a nice little stare that Danny Jackson gave the Fanatic as he drove off.
Usually it's us up here with the lights on as Zim coaches third. We had the lights off quick for Jackson tonight. Gary comes on and does his opening in the 4th inning. It always seems like Jackson's ready to go and the lights are on and he's standing there waiting.
Hey, we got a job to do, Chris. We're professionals.
We got to get you on camera. Swing and a miss by Blair.
Thank you.
And that is strikeout number 1 for Danny Jackson.
Fans are beginning to think maybe I should be on at the top of every inning, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, just have a shot of me sitting up here.
I've never heard that.
No, I got to check the mail.
Why don't you show it us? Eric Young in the top of the order. He has lined out twice. He's hit it hard twice. Once to Dykstra and once to Eisenreich. Mining the Miners coming up after this half inning. Stay tuned as Larry Rosen has a visit with a guy who saw some big league action. Greg Legg as Toronto leads Cleveland. Joe Carter, another homer. He hit 3 more last night.
They said that is the 5th time in his career.
He's one off of tying the major league record. Johnny Mize, I believe, has the major league record,
which is
one more than Carter. What, 6? Boy, that's it. He tied it last night. Okay, so he could set a record. If he does it again, he's still a young man. Stocker throws out Young. Forget that Joe Carter started his career with the Chicago Cubs. He was with them very briefly, and they traded him for Rick Sutcliffe.
Boy, I tell you, I remember when he first came up, he pulled off unbelievable. And man, he has turned into some type of player.
Had a great year in the National League with San Diego, and then over to Toronto. Here is Roberto Mejia. 0 for 2, a ground out, an error by Hollins. 2 outs, nobody on base. Breaking ball by Danny Jackson, over for a strike. Jackson with a strong 7 innings last week at Colorado, gave up 1 earned run, pitched to a no decision. Trying to become a 10-game winner. The Phillies bullpen had blown 3 or 4 leads that he's had late, or he would have been a 10-game winner a long time ago, and the Phillies would have 5 10-game winners in their rotation. Swing and a miss. Only time since 1900 the Phillies have had 5 starters with 10 or more wins was back in 1932. So they could do that tonight should Danny Jackson win this ball game. We are in the 6th.
With the records that these guys are setting, it's unbelievable. Maybe they are good.
Strikeout number 2 in the inning and 2 in the game for Jackson. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. A 1-hitter for Jackson. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and it's time now for Mining the Minors as Larry Rosen visits with Scranton infielder Greg Legg as his dream continues.
It has been nearly 7 years since Greg Legg got his chance to be a major leaguer. But a back injury and the owner's decision to cut rosters from 25 to 24 left him down on the farm. He continues to toil in relative obscurity. Good enough to earn a AAA paycheck, but years beyond the description prospect. Still, he perseveres.
You can't quit at something like this. You keep playing, hope for a break, hope you have that great season, hope somebody wants you. Championship, you just can't quit. You can't. You got to make them make you quit, because one good year and you know you got the money for a house, stuff like that, and it's a dream come true. And I don't want to quit. I got the rest of my life to work 9 to 5, and I'm going to play baseball as long as I can.
And Greg Legg talking about what it's like to be in the minor leagues and have that dream to get up here. And everybody talks about the big league players and how great it is when they get here. It's an awful lot of Greg Leggs who never really catch that dream. Good piece there by Larry Rosen. We'd like to remind you about the Phillies Yearbook, the 45th annual edition. It contains 72 pages of great photos, stats, and interesting articles about the Phillies. You can order this spectacular keepsake by mail. Send a check or money order for $8. That includes mailing to Phillies Yearbook, P.O. Box 7575, Philadelphia 19101. And be sure to include a return address and allow 2 weeks for delivery. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Darren Dalton, Pete Incaviglia, and Jim Eisenreich to face Willie Blair, who had one shaky inning the 3rd, and actually that started out with some bad defense. Dalton swings and misses at a breaking ball as Blair's pitched pretty well. The Phillies had the bases loaded in that inning.
Hey, folks.
But nobody out there. You said they want to see more of you, huh? Don't get carried away with this now. Start every inning with you. Nice going, Larry.
All right. See there, these guys take you serious. Just trying to have a little fun up here. Not a lot happening on 1 inning. Have runs been scored.
There's a base hit for Dutch. Fielded on 1 hop by Bichette, who plays really deep and holds Darren Dalton to a single. There are some right fielders. That ball might have been a double.
Yeah, maybe if they're playing in center, but that ball, he's got to have that.
Watch Dante Bichette, though. He plays everybody deep, and I think that comes from playing all those games in Colorado. Bichette has had a great year for the Rockies. He's one of those guys that's hard to believe wasn't protected. Incaviglia, the batter. Pete is 1 for 2. Had a funny base hit his last time up. Rounded first. Throw came in from Bichette, and he tried to get out of the way. Galarraga caught the throw and then tagged him out. Phillies now have 5 hits in the ball game.
It was a big deal. I mean, as far as taking the Phillies out of an inning, it would have been first and third.
Sure. He takes it low. 2 balls and no strikes on Incaviglia. Incaviglia combined in 91 and 92. Look at those numbers and look what he's done this year. Played for Houston last season. Had a home run rip at that and missed it. Incaviglia is one of those guys that fans have anticipation that he's going to hit a bomb when he comes up. The way Greg Luzinski was when he would come to home plate, Richie Allen when he played here. Three and one.
Blair, he has the ability to take something off and run that ball away. And he did that to Hollins, and he did it to Dalton for a strike in his last at bat.
They really like Willie Blair. He had a complete game against the Dodgers 2 starts ago. Incaviglia might have thought that was a little high. Either breaking ball or cut fastball, and it's 3-2.
Well, I think 3-1. He was looking for a fastball, didn't get it, didn't offer at it, and just tried to bluff his way down there. Watch, he gives up way early and then takes off down to first base. It wasn't the pitch he wanted. He didn't swing at it and tried to call that a deke.
See if Dalton runs. Willie Blair moves over to keep him close.
If you adhere to the theory that if a guy swings and misses a lot, you don't want to send your runner.
Phillies have been successful in their last 7 stolen base attempts and 9 out of 10.
But I think he will go this time. I think they'll anticipate a fastball, and if he gets a breaking ball, it's still a good time to go.
There he goes. And Incaviglia hits it foul. Phillies don't run a lot to steal bases. Oh, you better stay in the stands there. They don't steal a lot of bases, but they've been successful 76% of the time when they do run. So Dalton was off on the pitch. There's nobody out in the inning. Eisenreich on deck.
You know what you see a lot of times is you have certain tendencies that teams scout. Now, when you get to the... Oops, there's another base hit.
There's a broken bat base hit to center. Dalton picked it up right away and will get to third. Good base running by Dalton as he found the baseball looping into center field, and Incaviglia is on again.
What was it, about a month ago when Incaviglia couldn't buy a hit, striking out a lot, getting jammed, and they were going to people? Now tonight he's got 2 flares. Things are going his way. And because Dalton was running, he's easily able to advance to third. I was talking about the tendencies that you exhibit over the course of a season. You get to the playoffs, that's a good time to pull those stops out. You know, you don't run a lot, and teams don't anticipate you running, then you start to take off. You might see the squeeze play and use it strategically to your advantage. So it's going to be, everything's off when playoffs get.
Well, you'll see the Phillies run almost all the time 3-2. As they did that time, even though, as you said at first, maybe not the greatest combination to do it with. But that's the way they run the bases. Jim Eisenreich, the batter, who has an infield hit and has popped up. Phillies with a chance for more here. Runners at the corners and nobody out in the 6th inning. That was hit number 6. Dalton at third. And Incaviglia on at first base. Gary Wayne, the left-hander the Phillies see almost every game.
I think he's related to Bruce.
John. 1-0 to Eisenreich. Low went in the dirt.
You know, Eisenreich, I've noticed, you know, he has an uncanny ability to adjust to how the team is trying to pitch to him. If you're trying to throw him inside, he'll look for the ball in there, and he'll wail on it if you come inside. If you're trying to get him out of the way, he'll adjust to that and go the other way. Very knowledgeable hitter, very disciplined.
And Larry Bernard makes his way to the mound.
Larry Bernard, remember him from his excellent stint with the Montreal Expos. Very good pitching coach. A good guy to have when you have a young pitching staff.
Last year we saw a lot of Larry because he was scouting along with Cookie Rojas, who was doing the same job for Florida in anticipation of the expansion draft, and saw Bear quite a bit here at the ballpark and on the road. These are different type of expansion teams because they had that whole year to get ready. That's why they're a little bit better. Eisenreich fouls it off his foot. That's twice he's done that tonight.
A little bit inside, swings over the top of it.
He got his toe the first time, and that time he got the instep. Or the arch or whatever he hit. Boy, he's going to have a sore right foot. Now the crowd's starting to get into a little bit. This has been kind of a lull you to sleep game so far. Eisenreich with a high chopper. Galarraga will have just one play, and the Phillies score another weird run. It's on the board. It's 4-0.
Well, on this ball to Galarraga, you really got to see his vertical leap. He got on his tiptoes. Here it is. Look at the pitch away from Eisenreich. He tries to pull it, and it turns out to be a one-hopper to Galarraga. It's up and down on that.
Eisenreich's 43rd run batted in of the year. Moving into scoring position is Incaviglia. Phillies lead it by 4. And Stocker, the batter, he singled to center in the second inning, knocked in a run, and then fly to center. For Kevin, his 22nd run batted in. It's a lot of RBIs he has, hitting out of that 8-hole. Just now the time he's been up.
I think when teams face Kevin Stocker, they're going to say, hey, you don't give in to this guy. You go after him hard. Yeah, you challenge him and you go after him, but don't think if you get him behind in the count that you can just lay that ball in there and that he's going to make it out.
Strike call from him. He came into the game batting .432 right-handed, .325 from the left side. And he's a .364 hitter overall. Pete Incaviglia at second base with 1 out. One and 2 to Stocker. 1 out, and Danny Jackson on deck. Phillies scored 3 in the second. They've added 1 here in the 6th now. Jackson thus far has shut out Colorado on just 1 hit. Ball, 2 strikes is Stocker. Charlie Hayes over to first base. Got him. 2 outs. Just caught a little bit of a short hop there.
He did. Good piece of hitting by Kevin Stocker. I like that. They tried to pitch him away, and he didn't try and pull the ball. We saw Eisenreich try and pull that same pitch, and what happened was a ground ball to first base. Kevin Stocker did not try to pull it, tried to go the other way, hit the ball good, but it's right at Charlie Hayes.
And that'll bring up Jackson. Danny has walked and struck out. Ouch. He hits one off his foot. Danny Jackson making his 25th start of the year. He's completed a couple games and pitched 1 shutout. Tried to check on a slider, can't.
You're telling me it's a day game tomorrow, right, Chris?
Day game. You better be here.
Okay.
Because we're going to get you on camera 3 or 4 times. Might even get you on. Let's sit you in there with Jay in the opening. Business person special tomorrow at 12:30. We'll have the pregame for you at noon. Jackson takes a breaking ball for strike 3 called. He knew it. We'll see Gary tomorrow. 1 run for the Phillies in the inning on 2 hits, no errors. They leave 1 through 6, 4-0 Phillies.
Trust me, there are just some things you don't want to paint every year. That's why Sherwin-Williams top-of-the-line Super Paint has a 20-year warranty. And it's on sale now during the Super Sale-a-thon. Interior and exterior Super Paint is only $16.99. Super Sale-a-thon ends August 28th. So hurry. 'Cause like I said, there are some things you don't want to paint every year.
Where to find the Mountain Man. A mountain man can often be found on the trail of adventure, in search of remote watering holes, or weathering harsh climates. Most often, however, you'll find the Mountain Man wherever you find smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find yourself in the wide, open world of the Mountain Man.
Mr. Carr, is there something personal in this?
I told you he was dangerous. What's it gonna take? Me in a body bag?
Anything I seem to do makes it worse.
I got a cop who wants my wife. Stay here and lock the door. Do it!
She's all alone, Mikey.
Turn! Back up!
The homestand continues tomorrow afternoon with that business person special at 12:35. Right-hander Mo Sanford for Colorado. Kurt Schilling for the Phils, the final BPS of the year. And then the Cincinnati Reds come in for the weekend. Friday, Saturday nights at 7:35, 7:05 on Saturday. Jacket Day on Sunday at 1:35. Call 463-1000 for your tickets, or just go by the Center City ticket office at Mellon PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets. Jay Johnstone rejoins us. We go to the 7th inning. Galarraga, Bichette, Hayes, 3 tough right-handed batters to face Jackson.
You know, the Phillies last night couldn't buy a run, and tonight they're getting runs in strange ways.
Weird runs, yeah.
On outs.
But they have run the bases well tonight, and that has helped them get some first and third situations. Galarraga rips a foul third base side into the crowd.
And also, too, Jackson is pitching one heck of a game, and he's really tied up Galarraga. Last night, Galarraga hit the ball hard 5 times as we take a look at the fanatic who is looking for some extra food somewhere down by the booth of Bill Giles or somewhere.
Galarraga hits it foul third base side. A lot of balls going down that third baseline tonight because Jackson's pitch inside and the right-handed hitters are hitting it down there. Now he goes away from Andres and misses. 2-2. Galarraga has grounded to Kruk at first and ripped a single to center. The only hit in the ball game so far given up by Jackson. Galarraga looks locked in. You know, when he was struggling, he'd chase anything. Led the league in strikeouts. Boy, he's getting some good swings at taking borderline pitches. And he rips that ball at it right at Eisen. Hard to believe that that new stance has made such a difference for him.
Well, I think coupled with the brace, too, because it makes him keep his weight back. And as we show you the stance and the swing right here, you can see all his weight on his back foot. He's not, he's got a few pounds there. You're talking about a guy that's 240 pounds. You get that weight into that swing, and you're going to hit the ball hard.
Understand they'll probably need knee surgery after the season. And you see him hobbling down to first with that sore knee. Dante Bichette, the batter, 0 for 2. Fouled away. Kruk made a terrific play on him, and it wound up saving the Phillies a run in the 4th inning. Runners at first and second as Gary Wayne comes in. I guess he's going to be coming in the ball game. First and second, nobody out. Bichette hit a ground ball. Kruk to his knees, to his right, through to second. They got the force, kept the double play in order, and then Hayes hit into a double play. jammed him again. He's really running the ball in on Bichette. Into the upper deck. And the count's 0-2. One out and nobody on base. We are in the 7th. Phil's lead at 4-0. Anybody would like to have a quick one here tonight, if possible, with that early start tomorrow. These teams played over 4 hours here last night. Danny Jackson had a very, very nice pitch count. You consider you're in the 7th inning and a good ratio of balls and strikes. Slider off the end of the bat.
You know, and it's funny too that ironically the only guy that Jackson's walked tonight has been the pitcher.
Yeah, he retired the first 8 batters and then walked Blair. Bichette needs some new lumber.
And sometimes you wonder, he goes right through the lineup like a hot knife going through butter, and then he walks Blair.
Dante Bichette with a little pine tar and then some rosin. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, you look at Bichette, you look at Galarraga, you look at Hayes, all 3 of them over 70 RBIs. They're hitting in a terrific hitter stadium at the Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado. But you can look at this team and say you're almost looking at the 1992 Phillies. All offense, no pitching. And last year the Phillies had a terrific offensive team and finished last in the National League Eastern Division. They had absolutely no pitching.
Fouled away. And the Rockies started out that way. They had an ERA at one point over 6. It's still over 5, but they've improved and they've settled into a semi-rotation right now, but they've really had a good job done out of their bullpen lately, as they proved here last night. Inside to Dante Bichette, 2-2.
And give you an idea of what we talked about, how their pitching has really let them down this year. They don't have a shutout yet, their pitching staff. Their relievers have clogged the most innings of any relievers in the big leagues, 335 going into the night.
Pop-up. Kruk might have another play. He does. A lot easier for the Crucker. He doesn't have to battle the fans this time. 2 down.
I saw that. I thought our fans would get out of the way a little bit. The Colorado Rockies pitching staff has given up the most hits of any team. They've given up the most runs of any team. They've given up the most home runs of any team. They've given up the most walks of any team. They've thrown the most wild pitches of any team. And they've given up the most balks of any team. And they have the highest on-base percentage of any team in the National League.
So as a result, they're 48-77.
It's, like I said, it's like the Phillies looking in a mirror last year.
I'll tell you what, they're not a pushover right now, though, and they haven't been for about, well, they had a long losing streak in the midst of playing better. But they are a tough team to beat right now. Jackson makes another good play. He's had 2 of them tonight. Save hits. 3 up and 3 down on a great play by Jackson. To the 7th inning stretch, 4-0 Phils.
Okay, panel. How can you recognize the genuine Yellow Pages?
It has a yellow cover.
Good.
It says a Bell of Pennsylvania on the front.
Right.
It has more choices inside.
Yes! That's how you tell the genuine article from mere imitators. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
The genuine Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic Company. Do Texaco food marts really have everything?
Oh, they have gum, cheese, candy.
Many reasons I come to Texaco.
Chips, cereals, nice people.
There are many reasons.
You want it, they got it. If they don't have it, you don't need it. Isn't that candy that pulls apart like that?
Did I skip something?
Visit your Texaco station and food mart for unbeatable System 3 gasoline.
Pop comes here for System 3, and I come here for Pop. Right, Mom?
And just about everything else.
I'd recommend it to anybody. And I would, too.
Yeah, how far away do you think I can get in 72 hours?
I wouldn't trust my car past the city limits.
For the way you travel today more than ever, the Smart Money is on budget. Plan a great getaway by giving Budget a call. You'll get great rates on great cars. The Smart Money is on budget.
This is not the life of Chris Wheeler. This is the memories of an invisible man starring Chevy Chase. Actually, it kind of looked like me last night after the game. I had to jump in a car and drive to New York so I could do a clinic for about 150 kids this morning. But tonight, after the game, right here on Prism, a very, very funny movie with Chevy Chase. And we have Gerald Clark, a new first baseman for the Rockies. We also have a new pitcher coming in. Gary Wayne will be on the mound. There's Gary, and you see the numbers right there for Gary. A very funky motion the left-hander has. Very tough on left-handed batters. Fastball, slider, split finger pitch. And watch this motion.
He is funky. First pitch to Lenny Dykstra is nubbed towards second. Second baseman Mejia throws him out, one away. Lenny is now 1 for 3 in the ball game. I guess they finally figured Galarraga's knees hurting him so much that they have to get him out of there.
Well, in a day game tomorrow, so.
Not a matter of hurting him so much, but he's just hobbling around. Duncan, the batter. You see Mariano 0 for 3, does have a run batted in on an infield out. Gary Wayne works from the stretch at all times. Formerly pitched in the big leagues with the Minnesota Twins. So we mentioned the Phillies have seen him a lot this year. With all the left-handed hitters that the Phillies throw at a ball club, Wayne has gotten quite a bit of work out of the bullpen against the Phillies. And Duncan rips a foul straight back.
With that very herky-jerky motion, as we mentioned to you about the way that Gary Wayne throws the ball. Sometimes the hitter has a little trouble setting up his timing to get a good swing at the pitch. A lot of times pitchers will go on arm speed. Well, with that funky motion that Gary Wayne has, it throws your timing off. And as you saw Lenny Dykstra hit it right off the end of the bat, nubbed it. On a pitch that was almost inside.
Fouled out of play. Lenny Dykstra has not scored a run tonight. He has knocked in one, his 43rd of the year. Duncan fouls it away to the crowd down the right field line. Tony Blair didn't pitch that bad tonight. Going 6 innings, giving up 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, walking 2, striking out 4.
And 3 of those runs came in on outs, didn't they?
Yes. Duncan swings and misses. He struck him out. Strikeout number 1 for Wayne, and Kruk, the batter, 0 for 3.
It's the motion by Wayne. You can see him bring the arm back kind of like flat, and then he slings the ball up there. And this one is fouled off by Duncan.
That was an earlier pitch. Those things will happen.
Yes, they do. I was going to say there, he swung and missed that one, and he didn't miss it.
That rarely happens with our guys in the truck, though. That is a very, very good bunch down there. We do thank them night after night.
You know, it's funny. I was doing a game in Texas for the Yankees on the radio, and you know, sometimes you get into a little kind of it's a long game like we had last night. And the guy swung and missed the pitch, and I said, and he swung and missed that one. And of course, my producer tapped me on the shoulder, and I said, did I say swang? Well, when you're in Texas, you got to talk like the Texans,
right.
you
know.
He swung and missed another. You know? I'm sure my English teacher would not approve of my language, but
2 balls and no strikes to Kruk. Oh, what a shot back through the middle. He almost got himself a pitcher then.
Well, he swung and didn't miss that one. That was a bullet. We've mentioned how many times the scouts here in the stands have said that the Phillies left-handers stay in against left-handed pitchers as well as anybody they've seen lately. All 3 of them, Dalton, Dykstra, and Kruk. And here a big breaking ball off a very funky left-hander with a real screwy motion. And Johnny Kruk lines a bullet right over his left shoulder.
Hollins, the batter, 0 for 3 tonight off the starter Willie Blair with 2 strikeouts and a pop-up. And he hits a ground ball towards the home. Benavides will go to second and get Kruk. So Hollins is retired on the fielder's choice. And for the Phillies here in the 7th inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base through 7. Phillies 4, Rockies nothing.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Bush beer, an easy drinking Bush Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Bush beer is a drinking Bush Light.
So far this year, there have been 242 stories about a certain singer's book, 12 press conferences on the president's haircut, and 3 TV movies about the Long Island Lolita. But the media has yet to expose perhaps the most exciting event to date, the summer clearance at your Tri-State Honda dealer. Where right now, we've got great values on every Accord, including our 10th anniversary edition, that comes fully loaded at a price that'll have the whole world talking. We admit it's no dinosaur blockbuster, but at least our savings are huge. The summer clearance at your Tri-State Honda dealer, the smart way to go.
It's a really good-looking baseball jacket, free for kids 14 and under. Compliments of Acme and Kraft when the Phillies play the Reds Sunday, August 29th at 1:35. They'll make a racket to get this jacket. Call 463-1000.
Here's your scoring summary on the ball game tonight. It's been all Phillies so far. 3 in the second, 1 of them earned, another one in the 6th inning, and a 1-hit shutout thus far by Danny Jackson. There you see him through 7 innings. Phillies have gotten production out of the lower part of their lineup tonight. Andres Galarraga, 1 hit in 3 at-bats. He is out of the game now, and the Big Cats average after tonight is at .389. Phillies will bring Kim Batiste into the ball game to play third base. And in the 8th inning, Chris Jones leads it off.
.389, huh? He's really slumping.
Well, Andres Galarraga will have a chance to win a batting title this year. A lot of things have to happen. The way he's swinging the bat, he looks like he's going to get a lot of hits. Jones takes it a little high, ball 1. Jones, Schaefer, Castilla due to bat. 5, 6, 7, 8 hitters. And then Clark is batting in the 9 hole. That got Dalton.
Big breaking ball by Jackson as the swing happens. A little tip, and Dalton had the glove out to catch it, but the bat altered the flight of the ball, caught Dalton a little bit off the left elbow wrist area.
Jones dances away from a pitch inside. 2 balls and a strike. Dykstra is playing deep, and that ball will drop in center field. As Jones got jammed a little bit and slings a single into center field. That is hit number 2 in the ball game for the Rockies. And that might get the bullpen up.
Jackson wanted to go a little bit more inside with his pitch. He was inside and low on the previous pitch. This time he tried to come up and in, but he caught too much to the plate on that one.
And David West, who did not get in the game last night, starts to throw for the Phillies, and a strike called to Danny Schaefer, 0 for 2. He has flied out and hit a comebacker to Jackson, on which he leaped and made a good play. Danny's had 2 of them tonight to save potential hits up the middle. Schaefer grounds it foul past Zimmer. First base coach for the Rockies is another fine major league player. Jerry Royster had a good career in the league. There he is. Dodgers, Atlanta, among other teams. Oh, 0-2 to Schaefer. Ooh, just missed. That was a great year that Danny Jackson had. He beat the Phillies 4 times that year, twice on 2 hitters, and he dominated the Phillies. Never saw a left-handed pitcher break so many bats as Danny Jackson did against the Phillies that season. Had that devastating hard slider all year. Won 23 games that year in '87, second in the Cy Young voting to Oral Hershiser.
Yeah, what a year he had.
1-2 to Schaefer. Missed 2-2.
You look at the numbers that Jackson posted that year, and you would have to say normally that would win a Cy Young award in most years. But
here's Larry Anderson also starting to throw.
Hershiser that year breaking Don Drysdale's record of 56 2/3 scoreless innings.
Schaefer with a ground ball to short. Stocker couldn't get it out of the glove and then goes to first to get the slow running catcher. Wasn't going to be a double play, but Stocker knows he should have had the lead man, but at least he got the batter one away.
You can see right here he's having trouble getting it out of his gloves, so he doesn't panic. He goes for the out at first base. Well, there's a kid that, even though he's a rookie and very young at that, he still has a lot of poise, because some young players might panic and still trying to go to second, and then all the runners are safe. But he knew he had a sure out with a slow running catcher going to first, and he got it.
Vinny Castilla beats one foul, third base side. Gerald Clark waits on deck now in the 9-hole. There is Clark. He will get his first at bat of the game. Wayne, the pitcher, is batting third in the spot vacated by Galarraga. There's a ball loose out in right field, so Jackson had to step off. Castilla pops it up shallow right field. Eisenreich in perfect position, waits, and there are 2 down. And that'll bring up Gerald Clark in his first at bat of the game. Clark started in left field last night, moved to first, and had an 0 for 5 game with a walk. Here are the numbers on Gerald, the former Padre.
Clark came into the league with some really high expectations from a lot of people, and he hasn't met those expectations yet. People are still waiting for Gerald Clark to blossom and become the hitter that a lot of them think he should be.
Ooh. Base hit center field, and they'll get a run out of it. The Rockies will score their first run of the game, break Jackson's shutout on a bullet up the middle by Gerald Clark, who once had a 4-hit game here at Veterans Stadium. And it's now 4-1.
Gerald, I didn't mean for you to take that personally, but that's the kind of hitter that a lot of scouts and a lot of executives in baseball think that you should be. And in the 3.5 years he's been bouncing up and down into the big leagues, he just hasn't materialized yet.
And that'll bring up Eric Young, the leadoff man, playing left field. He has hit 2 balls hard tonight, to center and to right. And he's also grounded to Stocker. Bunts it foul. Fielded by Don Baylor on the top step of the dugout. Here's the skipper.
Well, he's had to have the patience of Job this year.
Good temperament for an expansion
Yes.
team.
You better have a lot.
And Renee Latchman the same way with Florida. He's done a good job with them. One ball and 1 strike now on Eric Young. Rockies with a run in here on 2 hits in the 8th inning. Phillies lead at 4-1 as Young leads off first base. Strike called, 1-2. 43,419 tickets sold for this one tonight.
16 in a row. 17. 16.
Base hit right field. So Danny Jackson might be tiring here in the 8th inning as Eric Young hits it hard to right. Rockies have 2 on, 2 outs. Mejia the batter, and here comes Fregosi. So Danny Jackson, who goes as long and hard as he can, will be leaving this game. As Fregosi almost always comes out with a hook, and he hasn't. As he points to the bullpen for the right-hander, Larry Anderson will be coming in. And Danny Jackson leaves, and he'll get a nice hand. Another very professional outing by Danny Jackson. We'll be back with more right after this.
How far away do you think I can get in 72 hours?
I wouldn't trust my car past the city limits.
For the way you travel today more than ever, the smart money is on budget. Plan a great getaway by giving budget a call. You'll get great rates on great cars. The smart money is on budget.
When good just isn't good enough.
Hey, that's super premium. Do you really think you need that high an octane for your car?
I don't know, but I do know this. I feel my car runs better on premium, and I have other things to worry about.
You don't take any chances, do you?
I figure if I put the best in, I'll get the best out.
So when good just isn't good enough for you, experience our best. Fly with the new superpower, Citgo.
And Larry Anderson, the new pitcher for the Phillies. There are the numbers on Anderson. He'll be coming into game number 50. Anderson pitched an inning here last night, 1 hit and 1 strikeout. Larry Anderson, the 40-year-old veteran right-hander. And here comes Darryl Boston, the left-handed batter, out to hit for Mejia. No surprise there.
Anderson featuring a wide assortment of pitches. There's a slider and a slider and another slider and a slider.
He'd be hurt to hear this.
You know what? I know a guy that threw left-handed and played in this ballpark too. A guy named Sparky Lyle that pitched a lot of years with a slider, 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 and slider.
Darryl Boston will bat now for Roberto Mejia. Boston 6 for 23 as a pinch hitter with a couple of runs batted in. Darryl Boston. There are those pinch hitting numbers on him and what he's done overall this year. And he's faced Anderson twice this year and is 0 for 2 off Larry. He is the tying run. 4-1 Phillies lead at 2 outs here in the 8th inning. A run in for Colorado. And Anderson set to deliver his first pitch. A fastball outside.
No, come on.
1 ball, no strikes. Cardinals play at San Diego again tonight. They'll begin at 10:30 Philadelphia time. That was a breaking ball. 1-1.
Larry's pitching philosophy is like that old saying that you've heard so many times: if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
And he says, if I keep getting him out with my slider, why should I throw anything else? He's done a great job, so it's got a lot of merit to that.
1 ball, 1 strike to the pinch hitter Boston. Dalton framed it. They thought they might have had the outside corner. Don't get it. 2-1. The on-deck batter is Alex Cole, who is out to hit for Gary Wayne, the pitcher, the other left-handed hitter that they have. And Boston calls time. There is Alex Cole, the former Cardinal. Boston fouls it off 2-2 to Darrell. So the bullpen trying to hold the lead for Danny Jackson. Of all the pitchers this year, Jackson has been hurt the most late in the game as we look at Gerald Clark on at second base and Eric Young at first. Phillies lost one in the 8th inning last week for Jackson at Colorado. Boston originally with the White Sox. Remember him with the New York Mets for a couple of years. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Darrell Boston. And he hits a ground ball to second, jammed. Duncan throws him out, and out of the inning is Larry Anderson. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 2 men left on base. We are through 7 1/2. Bills lead it by 3.
Now the Pennsylvania Lottery has 2 drawings every week for the Cash 5 lump sum jackpot. So every week,
I want to go this way.
2 people can hit Cash 5. All the cash, all at once. When you win the Pennsylvania Lottery's Cash 5, you'll get all the cash all at once in 1 lump sum. It's a lot, but you can handle it. Cash 5. All the cash all at once.
This is the Infinity J30. Oh, and this is the clock in the J.
There's an interesting reason it looks like it does. Infinity realized the clock is the one instrument in the car everyone uses. So they felt it should stand out.
Now, if they put that much thought into the clock, imagine the other thoughtful extremes they went to. Visit your Infinity showroom. Oh, tell them you already know the part about the clock.
Lease one of the world's most advanced automobiles, now at a very special rate for a limited time.
Near the end of innocence came the beginning of manhood. The events that shaped their lives can't help but touch yours.
Under fire!
A midnight clear.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Phillies and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. And it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form or otherwise used without the express written consent of the Phillies. New second baseman, Freddie Benavides for the Rockies, as Mejia was hit for by Boston. And Darren Dalton leads it off for the Phillies against one of the pitchers he really doesn't like facing. He has had a lot of trouble with this guy. With that pitch, he stays off at that time. Wayne throws Darren a lot of breaking balls away. And misses low with a fastball, 2-0.
I'm a little upset that you didn't say that Anderson jammed Boston on a slider.
That's right. I probably didn't, huh?
That's right.
Just said he jammed him.
You jammed him. Just forgot on a slider.
Dalton to left field and pretty deep. Back goes Young at the track, grabs it 1 away. Darren hit the ball well, but Eric Young ran it down. And there's 1 away for the Phillies here in the 8th inning. In Cavilla, the batter, and then Eisenreich and Mitch Williams starting to loosen in the Phillies bullpen. He will be coming on to pitch tonight.
The last couple of nights, we've really seen the ball guide on that field, haven't we?
The only ball that really jumped was that thing that
Bichette hit.
Bichette hit last night. Yeah,
but he hit it. It was a low line drive, more or less, dead center. Almost dead center.
Pete has a couple hits tonight, coming off the starter. Blair. Willie Blair on the hook right now, and Danny Jackson hoping to finally win that elusive 10th game that has slipped away a few times for him in the late innings. Not of his doing. Jackson pitching very well tonight. 7 2/3 innings, 4 hits, a run. And he threw a total of 98 pitches in the ball game. 31 balls and 67 strikes.
Phillies were able to hold on. It'll be the first time in a long time that I can remember that all 5 Philly starters have been in double figures in wins.
1932.
It's been a while. I can't quite remember that far.
That was a while.
Back when.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And Cavilla has his 3rd hit of the ball game as he rips one to center field. Pete will take a short turn at first.
You're not going to throw me out a second time.
Jerry Lane just said something to him down there. The umpire got a little smile out of Incaviglia.
That was a hanger, too. Wayne tried to get a breaking ball down and in, and it just hung right out over the middle of the plate.
Eisenreich, the batter. Jim is 1 for 3 tonight with a run batted in. His 43rd of the year. On deck is Stocker. Gary Wayne on in his 2nd inning of work behind Willie Blair. Breaking ball over for a strike, 1-1. New second baseman Benavides goes to the shortstop Castillo, who might have gotten spiked by Incaviglia, and they get Incaviglia 2 outs. I think he got a little piece of him.
Castillo wanted no part of Incaviglia. He was going to get the 1 out for sure and then get out of the way. We'll show it to you right here. Benavides' throw was to the outside part, so Castillo had to try and get out of the way, and what he did was he landed on his heel.
Yeah, he never touched him.
He landed on his heel. It kind of jammed his heel a bit, but he wanted no part of Pete Incaviglia on that double play.
It's understandable.
Very.
Stocker, the batter, 1 for 3, an RBI and a run scored. Kevin had a 10-game hitting streak stop last night, his 2nd 10-game hitting streak in the major leagues, and has started a new one tonight. Ricky Jordan moves out to bat for Larry Anderson should Stocker keep the inning alive. Popped him up on an off-speed pitch. Benavides, the second baseman, grabs it, and that'll do it for the Phillies here in the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. It's Wild Thing time as we go to the 9th.
Did you know Texaco puts System 3 in every grade of gasoline?
System 3 gets high marks in every grade, which is a lot better than I ever did.
My dad says Texaco puts System 3 in every grade. I'm in the 4th grade.
That's why I always fill up with System 3. What do I look like? Don't say it.
When it comes to performance in cars both new and old,
System 3, I can get great performance from Beacon Hill to Beverly Hills.
count on every grade of Texaco System 3.
Don't try it with any other gasoline.
I wouldn't.
Who asked you?
If you've got a group of 25 or more, we'll give you a great time at a Phillies game. For all the details about a special package for your group at a Phillies game, call 463-5000.
The new Lexus GS is equipped with a vehicle speed-sensitive steering system, so responsive that it actually improves your feel for the road. Now, the only thing more exhilarating than watching the Lexus GS is driving it. The new GS.
Well, let's take a look at the scoreboard as Atlanta wins again today. They are red hot, and they beat the Giants again. They're getting closer and closer. They're 5.5 out. Tom Glavine, a 15-game winner. Justice Gant, Pendleton homered. Houston over Florida 1-0. They're in the 7th. Chicago leads Montreal 6-5 in the 7th inning. The Mets over Cincinnati. They are in the 8th. Bobby Bonilla has hit his 28th. Tim Costa, his first major league home run. Dwight Smith has hit number 3 for the Cubbies. You see the later games out on the coast. Let's go to the American League. Game number 1, Milwaukee beat Oakland 9-2 behind Ricky Bonas. In game number 2, they are just getting underway. Detroit beat Seattle today behind John Doherty, who's 11-9. Mickey Tettleton, his 28th homer. Toronto and Cleveland scoring a lot of runs again. Joe Carter's hit number 28 in that one for the Jays. Baltimore at home against California. They're in the 9th inning. Chicago and New York, they're tied 2-2 in the 6th. Ron Karkovice, his 16th for the White Sox, a 2-run homer. Boston won Texas 0 in the 3rd. And Minnesota and Kansas City are in the 5th inning. There's no score in that one. Phillies with a double change here. They'll bring Milt Thompson into the game. He'll bat 9th and play left field. And now pitching for the Phillies and batting an Incaviglia's spot is Mitch Williams. There are the numbers on Mitchell. Coming into game number 50, 35 saves on the year. He's 7 saves and a 1 ERA in 8 games this month.
You know, Paul Hagan had a great article about Mitch Williams yesterday in the Daily News. A real good article about it. Nice to see that.
Joe Girardi will bat. He is pinch hitting for Wayne. So Girardi and then Bichette and Hayes due to bat off Mitch Williams. And Girardi hits a 1-0 pitch high in the air to right field. Right there is Eisenreich, and there is one away here in the 9th inning.
It's going to be kind of interesting to see Baylor's philosophy when you're down by 3 runs or 2 runs, whatever, and you're in the last inning, per se, to see if he has his hitters taking a strike or if he's letting them swing his pitches that they think they can handle. Right there, the count in favor of Girardi 1-0, and he swung at a pitch.
Mitch Williams has 12 straight saves in 12 opportunities, of course. Bichette bunts. Wow. This is their bomber. I know a home run only makes it 4-2, but you know.
Well, I guess if he figures if you can get on with a bunt, it's as good as a base hit or a walk. So.
We don't want to say this has been a quick game, do we? Shh.
After that drive to New York last night.
You had a long day and night. Way outside with a fastball is Williams. 1 ball and 1 strike on Bichette. See, he has hit the Phillies very well this year. He's hit most of the league well. I mean, this guy's a good player. He's batting a solid .312, leading the league in doubles, and has 19 homers.
77 RBIs, sure.
A ball and a strike. Fouled away off the facing of the upper deck and back into the crowd. And a guy with a glove makes a fine play in the 2nd row.
It's about 100 and, rephrase that. There's about 250 players in the big leagues today. They would quit with those kind of numbers up there. I'd love to have a season end like that with 19 homers, 77 RBIs, and a .312 average.
Mitch Williams with 35 saves on the year, trying to make it 36. Line down the left field line. It is a fair ball. Takes a crazy carom, heads back towards the infield. Thompson will run it down, and Bichette has another double for Dante Bichette, number 39. What I mean about him bunting.
When Pete Rose was here with the Phillies, he won the doubles title one year. Was it with 44, 42, 44, right in that area? There's Bichette, as you can see the ball going down the line. Look at where the ball hits, right on the line, but then it hits the top part of the fencing, and Thompson, coming over, had to rechange his direction. And as Chris said, double number 39.
Leading the major leagues, the fabulous John Olerud. Lenny Dykstra 2nd in the National League, 3rd overall in Major League Baseball with his 36. Lenny has one tonight. Charlie Hayes, the batter, who's 0 for 3. He's grounded out, grounded into a double play, and then hit a ball back to Jackson, on which Danny made a fine play, leaping high in the air and throwing Hayes out. 2-0. As Williams fell on delivery and kicks at the mound. Fregosi reaches. That said it all right there. Yeah, that's what he'll do to you. Two and 0. Hayes swings and misses.
What do they remember Don Stanhouse? They used to call him full pack.
Full pack, yeah. Weaver used to call him that. That's ripped in the hole for a base hit. Bichette will stop at third, so they're going to bring the tie and run up. It's never easy. At least it seems like it. And now Fregosi stands up as Chris Jones steps to home plate. He has some power. They got the first out on a fly ball to right off the bat of the pinch hitter Joe Girardi, and then Bichette doubled into the left field corner. Ball kicking back towards the infield. And Charlie Hayes is single to left. So here is Jones, 1 for 3 with a hit and a run scored. Jones with 5 homers, 27 runs batted in. Crowd getting a little restless.
I wonder why.
On deck is Danny Schaefer, the catcher. Pitch to Jones. Breaking ball over for a strike. Bichette at third, Hayes at first, 1 out. Phillies 4, Rockies 1. Charlie Hayes with about a 2-step lead. Knows he's not going anywhere. And the 1-1 on the outside corner again for strike 2 call. Hard ground ball to short. Let's see. Duncan 1, back to first. No. Ball actually was off the end of the bat a little bit. Run scores on the play, but there are 2 outs. It's a 4-2 game.
Actually, the Philly infielders were playing very deep. Stocker does a great job in getting the ball, but Mariano Duncan has a long way to go to get to second base because he was playing so deep.
Yeah, they weren't really in double play that time. It would have taken a really hard hit ball.
So a 1-hop bullet, and that, even though that ball was hit fairly hard, it still wasn't enough.
So here is Schaefer. He grounds 1 to third, a foul ball past Batiste. Schaefer's 0 for 3 tonight. Charlie Hayes, or Chris Jones on at first base. Hayes wiped out on the fielder's choice, and Bichette scoring the second run to make it 4-2. 2 outs, and the 0-1 to Schaefer. Fly ball foul out of play. So Bitch gets ahead of him 0-2. You'll see some people probably start to get to their feet, hoping this one will end here. Sometimes Mitch leaves him standing a while. Fregosi taking a seat. And the 0-2 pitch to Schaefer with the runner going, and he fouls it off. They're playing off Chris Jones with a 2-run lead, and he just took off then.
You hear the crowd in the background, as we told you earlier, 43,419 of them tonight. 16th day in a row, Phillies have had over 40,000 people here. And coming into last night, 798,000 ahead of last year.
Oh, they're going to throw down and safe. Boy, Darren Dalton almost got Jones. He saw him go on the pitch before that, decided to fire, and almost got him. What a base running mistake that would have been for Jones. You got to make this. Very close. And he just beat it. One ball, 2 strikes to Danny Schaefer. Struck him out. Mitch Williams with his 36th save. Danny Jackson is a 10-game winner. And the Phillies now have 5 starters this year with 10 wins, and they have won their 79th game of the year by a score of 4-2 in a snappy 2 hours and 30 minutes. Jim Fregosi, Mel Roberts, Pete Incaviglia, and the whole ball club congratulate each other after winning a game tonight and evening this series at 1 game apiece. We'll be back with more right after this.